Well, how about some Black Adam news? Apologies for my voice. I'm still suffering a cold, and as far as I know, that's all it is. But oh boy, sore throat has been pretty much gone. So there's that. That's one good thing. But anyway, yeah, Black Adam. So this is Cosmic Book News I'm reading here, and apparently there's been the script has leaked. So this will be possible spoilers for what the Black Adam film may entail. Now, earlier leaks and comments about it and whatnot seem to suggest that the Justice Society would be involved, and I believe even Dwayne Johnson himself spoke to this, and that he really wanted that to be a part of it. And so a lot of these leaks have some amount of credibility to them as to what this is about. So apparently there will be two versions of the Justice Society within the story. So let's see here. This was on Twitter from someone named Thomas Polito of Geeks Worldwide, apparently. He said, I've read parts of the Black Adam script. It's a DC fan's wonderland. Hope the movie isn't delayed too much by the coronavirus, but I want to see this sooner rather than later. Gonna be worth the wait no matter what, though. The tone is right down the middle between Shazam and Batman vs. Superman / Man of Steel. Light humor with some dark elements. It works well. Yeah, that's an interesting thing about this as well. Batman versus Superman and Man of Steel. These were dark-toned, moods and whatnot within those stories, and received some amount of complaint as for that, especially when concerning Superman. Whereas Shazam did seem to have those elements in it. Mostly, Shazam had a lot of silliness to it. But there were some pretty severe dark elements within the Shazam film, which I actually enjoyed. When it finally, at the end, when the other kids got their powers and stuff, it came across kind of cheesy, but it was pretty quick. And at the end, the only thing about that is I'm wondering, how do you handle that and maintain the overall tone that the film had with those guys being more a part of it, which I would assume would be the case for the sequel. But anyway, Shazam should have done better than it did. I thought it was a pretty good film, but it did balance that. I mean, you did have some goofy, rather funny stuff in it. With this sort of it still could fit within that world established by those earlier films, which it seemed to place itself in, with nods to the Justice League and Superman and all that. So apparently a Black Adam will follow suit with that. So anyway, see, the article goes further. It's also claimed that Black Adam started pre-production, as apparently an Arab or Middle Eastern actress is being sought for the role of Isis Adriana. Now, obviously, thanks to a certain terrorist organization, the name ISIS, they all shy away from it. They certainly did that with the CW TV series. I would wish people had more spine and just retake that ISIS is an ancient deity and just some crappy terrorist organization just suddenly takes it and you let them. But they're so worried and scared about it, I guess, for marketing purposes. How are you going to sell a toy named ISIS and stuff like that? It's too bad, because it really fits in, especially with the more recent versions of Black Adam and his relationship with her and everything. I just wish they could just take back the name, or choose another deity. There's Hathor. That's an old Egyptian goddess who kind of predates ISIS, I believe. Not kind of forgetting my Egyptian mythology or what have you, but something along those lines. But just giving her own Adriana, which is I guess is the mortal name of the woman who becomes ISIS and all that. But it's just too bad that that sort of thing happens. So I don't know what I would just do it, but of course overall you got to consider the problems that could ensue from having the label and all that sort of stuff. So, I guess better safe than sorry. I don't know. But, so anyway, the script in and of itself, according to Fandom Wire, Black Adam kicks off with an epic 30-minute origin story where Black Adam fights the Justice Society. It's claimed that Black Adam releases the 7 deadly sins, and we saw those in the Shazam film, so he does that in this past era, which, if it's the original Justice Society, I'm thinking this is sometime in the 40s. So, but anyway, this is the opening. It's set in the past, and the Justice Society ultimately defeats him and imprisons him. It's claimed that this version of the Justice Society is made up of a young version of the wizard Shazam, played again by, is it Digimon Hansu? I guess that's how you pronounce his name. I'm not sure. But, you saw him in the Shazam movie playing an older version of himself. Here he'd be younger. And then Hawkman, Hawkgirl, Dr. Fate, the Jay Garrick Flash, and Alan Scott's Green Lantern. That would be an impressive showing there. That you get 30 minutes of that at the outset of the film. Now, the interesting part about this is that in the original story, Black Adam is a character from ancient times. And so maybe he still is, but that this would be a story that he comes back from wherever, because I think originally it was like the wizard sent him so far away, and he manages to come back, or something. I can't remember. Or he was imprisoned, or something along those lines, and then Captain Marvel, or Shazam rather, had to deal with him, and all that sort of thing. Maybe that just happens with the Justice Society instead, and they defeat him and they put him back in prison. And a younger version of the wizard. Now, the wizard, of course, is very old. He dates back to ancient Egypt and all that. So one of the interesting things about it was I was wondering if they were going to have the actual Nabu version of Dr. Fate appear, and he would have been a contemporary of the wizard. And maybe they still will. I don't know. But this sounds like Black Adam makes his move back in the World War II era. And the Justice Society takes him down. And in this respect, there you would have the Kent Nelson, perhaps, version of Dr. Fate. And so that's the first 30 minutes. And you get Jay Garrick, Flash, and the Alan Scott, the original Green Lantern, all that in there. And this is their big battle against Black Adam, and they win. So then you fast forward to present day, and Black Adam has escaped from his tomb, and the Justice Society reforms to do battle, but with a different team. Now, of course, with Hawkman and Hawkgirl, they are people who reincarnate. So this is their reincarnated version. So you would have 2 other Hawkman and Hawkgirl. But that's in keeping with the comic book version of the story of those characters. And then Dr. Fate again. And I'm guessing this contemporary, present-day version of Dr. Fate will be... I forget his name. Khalid, I believe, is this Egyptian young. I don't know if he's a teenager or thereabout, probably early 20s, something like that. Currently featured in Justice League Dark. So that his version would probably be the current one. So there you go. You can fit it all in. You don't have to just pretend that the Kent Nelson version never happened or anything. And this is how you can do it. And he's this legacy character of sorts. And he's got the helmet with the spirit of Nabu dwelling within it. So then Atom Smasher, Cyclone, and I believe Stargirl was supposed to be a part of this as well. And so anyway, they work with Black Adam's love interest, Isis, but of course they probably won't use the name, which is unfortunate, but she will be there as a part of this. Certainly Dwayne Johnson says he has given nods to Superman and that he wants Henry Cavill to return as Superman in a Black Adam film, but I'm guessing that would be in a sequel, not in this one. So it's sounding like Black Adam is a Justice Society movie, and more so than Birds of Prey wasn't really a Birds of Prey movie. It was just a Harley Quinn movie. This sounds like there's going to be more of this. and before Shazam has any involvement, since he's primarily an adversary for the original Captain Marvel. But Shazam 2, Shazam 2 might actually feature and have some sort of consequence as a result of this film bringing back Black Adam. So interesting things there to have all that. Truly a DC fan's wonderland if all these characters appear in here and they're able to flesh them out enough to where it's not just a bunch of glorified cameos. A good 30 minutes of the film being this past era little vignette you get there where they're dealing with that battle. And you can imagine where they can give sort of a lead in at the Justice Society, where this superhero team fighting in World War II and all that, and that would give it a solid grounding for it to in keeping with this new Justice Society, which would be, again, the legacy story, which is what Justice Society, the series, became for a while there, before all that came to an end with New 52 and the like. It was an interesting thing. I've never been a big fan of JSA and Justice League existing in the same world, because I always like to think of Superman as the first superhero, not just one that comes later. And it's kind of hard to make that fit, where if Superman was such an odd thing for people to experience in Man of Steel, when in their past they knew about a Justice Society where you had the likes of Green Lantern and the Jay Garrick Flash and all that, then Superman would just be, well, here comes another one, So, not exactly certain what they're doing with all this, or if they would go ahead and give some suggestion that the Shazam world is actually another version, the multiverse and whatnot. Don't know. Or it could just be that Justice Society was a secret society and most people never knew these people existed, and you didn't really get to see. There's only a few people who actually witnessed it, and then it becomes like a UFO story or something, and most people don't really believe it happened. Could be something along those lines, and that these superheroes are very, very secret and all of that. But not for long with Black Adam running around and causing mischief. So there you go. It sounds pretty interesting, and sounds very likely, considering a lot of the other stuff that has been said or spoken of from no lesser than Johnson himself. So sounds pretty cool to me. So maybe something to look forward to for Black Adam. Thank you for watching and listening. Say, why not like and subscribe, and check out that link description below. That'll take you to my mini stores that have plenty of goodies for you. Most notably, my comic book, Night Night. Oh yeah. It might take a while to get the print copy due to the current circumstances, but you can definitely get the digital download today if you so desire. Also, check out the Mr. Nailsin Show podcast on RadioMisfits.com. New episodes every Saturday, although there might be some best ofs here if this keeps going with my being under the weather. Although I've got a show ready for this Saturday, so you'll have that. And, of course, you can watch my videos on BitChute.